you. Can you hear me well, see me
I
well?
can see you well. I can hear you well, and I'm so happy to see you. And oh my God, to do it with you, like the authentic hour. Oh my God! So to everyone who is watching, will be watching, I'm presenting to you Ada. Would you
Hello,
like to tell
everyone.
us more about yourself?
Yes, absolutely. So I work in tech. I'm a product designer, and apart from that, I'm also a yoga teacher. I dance, I run, I do a lot of different things. So yeah, I'm very excited to join our conversation today, and very happy to see you all as well. So nice we get to see each other today.
Exactly. Um, Would how did it all started? Like your journey into tech, and because I was watching it from sidelines at some
Mhm.
point, and I know you went through such a beautiful journey of finding yourself and finding your passions and traveling around the world. Like, tell us more about it. Like, how did it started? What's
Yes. So since I've been working in tech for the past 5 years, somewhere along the way, I discovered yoga, and it's been very wonderful, very helpful for me on my own healing journey, I guess. And then again, with time, I did some teacher trainings that sort of inspired me to teach others as well, to share the knowledge. And I guess I took it from there. And I was always very curious. I wanted to try different things. Also, lately, I'm so happy to share it today because I just finished, just a few days ago, I finished my first vipassana. Vipassana
wow.
is like a silent retreat, 10-day silent retreat. And it's such a beautiful experience to anyone who's not familiar with the concept. How it works, you pretty much go to the meditation center where they take your phone away and you're not allowed to speak to anyone. It's just you and yourself for 10 days meditating from about 4:30 a.m. to 9 p.m. with breaks for food, of course, and very short walks. They introduce you to the very specific meditation technique. For the very beginning, they teach you to focus on your breath, and then you watch sensations on your body from head to toe. And thanks to the environment, again, thanks to the center itself that is nested in nature, nobody's talking to each other, no phone, no distractions whatsoever. You're able to go very deep into your subconscious mind, go very deep to your meditation. So I must say, I do practice yoga every day, but I never felt so much peace in my life after those 10 days, which has been difficult also. Of course, it's not an easy experience, especially for people who are not used to meditating, being just with themselves, right? I can only imagine it's a difficult experience, but yeah, it's just something wonderful. So I guess all those tools, together with yoga, meditation, and other things, I sort of found myself on the path of self knowledge, I guess, and discovering yourself and remembering who you are. So it's been a beautiful journey, and still is.
So many things to unpack. Like Vipassana, like which center?
Yes,
I'm
so there are Vipassana centers all over the world. The other beautiful thing about it is that it's completely for free. The courses are held on donation basis, so any students are welcomed to donate any amount they feel like is sufficient for them. Other than that, it's very accessible for everyone. The closest meditation center here in Portugal is actually in Spain, so I had to travel to another country. But most of the countries, at least in European Union and all over the world, are very accessible, and it's just something beautiful. Another thing that surprised me about this is that there were a lot of young people. I was expecting like some hippie vibes, maybe weird people. Actually, when you first apply for a course, it's actually not easy to get in. You get very often you're waitlisted. That was the case with me, but luckily they reached out after a few days. Yeah, and they ask you all sorts of questions. If you have any addictions, some past history of mental illnesses, anything like that, right? So I was a bit concerned, okay, what kind of people go there, right? I just wanted to meditate. So I was a bit concerned, but at the end, I got to do some speed friending before the silence was on. And there were many people actually in their early 20s, a lot of business owners, very inspirational, driven, ambitious people. So it's been beautiful to see that also amongst very young generation, that they want to know themselves, they want to learn different techniques, how to basically come back to themselves. So it's been a wonderful experience, equally difficult and equally wonderful experience, and it just gives you so much clarity. I feel like if I could compare it to one thing or just describe it in one sentence, it's like deep cleaning of your head, deep cleaning of your mind. And I think I'll do that every year, because honestly afterwards you just feel so calm, so clear in your head. You get to have this time also to self-reflect what's important to you in life. A lot of childhood memories, for example, can come to a surface, or some suppressed emotions or memories you didn't know you had. So that was very interesting to sort of just sit with that, to feel it, to observe it simply, not to become it. And it's such a beautiful tool that I can carry in my daily life, pretty much, because we tend to distract ourselves. We tend to not to feel, not to want to feel with the discomfort, right? But this is actually going into discomfort and purely watching it. So amazing, incredible experience. I'm just advertising it to everyone.
Beautiful.
Yeah,
I've heard a couple of my friends did it, and I've heard only beautiful things about it, and it's on my to-do list
you have to.
somewhere. It's just, yeah, being a startup founder and doing 10 days without the phones.
Especially startup founders, they need it. So really, the more you resist, the more you need it, I feel like.
The one thing which I was resisting for a very long time in my, say, self-discovery journey was prolonged fasting.
Mm-hmm.
And I did it this January, over 72 hours.
Ooh, okay.
And it was a beautiful, blissful experience. Like
Really? Tell me about
this
it.
this peace and serenity. Like I had this feeling like everything is in slow motion. Because there is this tendency that something happens. I mean, for some people, something happens and we eat because it's food is like a natural way for us to regulate emotionally
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm,
for a
mm-hmm,
lot of
mm-hmm.
us. And I was able to catch myself on this habit of, oh, I've got my routine, I've done my yoga, I did the first calls, and now it's time for breakfast.
Mm-hmm.
And then like, no, you're not, like, we are fasting, and it brings this deepening of every single experience. After I think 2 days, I my sense of smell changed.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm,
I
mm-hmm.
was able to, like, why I'm becoming so sensitive, and then I could feel the sensitivity in my entire body, and
Mm.
everything was like in slow motion. And since then, so for females, there are particular windows during the menstrual
Yeah,
cycle which are better for fasting, and like the
yeah.
first 14 days. So since then I'm trying to do 2-3 days of fasting when I'm starting my period, to
Okay.
really
To cleanse.
cleanse everything. And
Mm-hmm,
it's,
mm-hmm.
at the same time, it's funny because it's almost addictive.
Okay. Why?
W-
Because it
w-
feels so good.
then my question is going to be, would you say that vipassana might be to this extent also addictive? But the state of fasting and this clarity and this peace,
Mm-hmm.
it's 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 almost addictive. Like it's so easily achievable.
Yes. Yeah, this is the thing. I think whether it's through Vipassana or other practices, I think after this experience, it was mind blowing to me why people don't know about it, why people are not, like, why everyone is not doing that, because it truly is life changing and it's so accessible. I mean, yes, some people freak out when they hear they have to stay without their phone or without the food, right?
Yeah.
But it's actually, comparing to results you have, the benefits you have, it's easy. It's, you want to feel that way.
Yeah.
So there's nothing to be afraid of. And I think it's interesting what you said about the stronger senses that you had, because it was exactly the same for me. Since I guess our sensitivity to what's around us, what's inside us, got sharper, since again we would focus on our purely on sensations on our body. So whether it's temperature, whether it's itching, anything, we would just observe it. For example, if we would be in such pain because our legs of the sitting for 2 hours, we shouldn't move actually. So that's how you learn on the physical level that actually everything passes away. Even the biggest pain, you just observe it, you actually go to the source of it, and you watch it dissolve. So that's been such an interesting experience. And I did notice that, for example, a few times I would go outside and I would experience so many smells. I would notice so much. I would be so present. Because again, it's in no way cleansing, both I guess not eating, because you give your body a break from constant work, constant digestion. And the same for brain, right? Since you're focusing on your body all the time, on your sensations, of course you have some moments of thoughts arising, but you're just not being the thoughts, right?
Yeah.
So I feel like this should be, this is actually our natural state. We just live in a constant state of distraction.
Yeah.
So we're not able to feel the constant peace that we should feel naturally, right? If that makes sense. Plus the senses, plus the intuition, I guess, the connection to nature. Many times I didn't take any drugs, I swear, just purely after meditation. I would go for a walk and I would stare at random bush and think, wow, it's gorgeous.
Wow. Wow. There's something which got me thinking when I was listening to you describing how to some extent vipassana was similar to prolonged fasting. That when I think about spiritual journey and spiritual development, there is such a hype on it over the last couple of years that I feel like some people treat it as a sport, that it's just a cool thing to do. And then people almost expect that something's going to happen, like there's going to be healing, or there's going to be this, or there's going to be that.
Like a big
But
event associated with it.
exactly. But at the same time, we are expecting external factors to help us. Like we are giving away our agency because we expect that someone who's going to be facilitating this event is going to help us.
Yeah.
But then with vipassana and fasting, we actually turn into ourselves.
Yes,
No
period.
one can do it for you, and there's
No,
no one
no
who's going to
one.
facilitate it for you. It's just
No.
you and
Your
your
own
own.
work. Yes,
Yeah.
definitely. Yeah. Yeah, it's actually crucial, right? Because again, it's all about self-knowledge, self-work. Nobody can do it for you. Even the most amazing guide teacher, at the end, some stuff are for you to work within. And I think people maybe tend to be scared of it, right? So they're searching for the next thing to try, the next book to read, to understand on an intellectual level. But actually, it's all about the experience in your body. That you can use different techniques, whether it's again meditation or maybe fasting or anything. Yeah, it's just about just sitting with your shit, pretty much.
When was the moment when you the moment that you connected the dots for you, like through this beautiful journey of, I mean, traveling around the world, how many times I cannot even count, from dancing in Argentina to yoga in India, like when was the moment, like the key milestones of, like, if you would take us on a journey, how it was happening for you?
Good question. Let me think. Um, again, I was always very curious to try things, and I like to make my dreams come true. Therefore, all the dancing in Argentina and doing the trainings, I'm just very curious. I like to learn, including the self knowledge, just being with myself. Um, if I had any milestones or like a moment where I thought, wow, it clicked, I know everything now, I healed. I think it doesn't work like that. For me, I think it's just ongoing journey of sort of remembering and reminding myself of who I am, because at the end of the day, we're not really monks meditating in Himalayas. There's no more world that we have to face, and sometimes it's like that, sometimes it's like that, right? But having the tools to deal with that, and constantly, even on daily basis, the best way on daily basis is just to keep reminding ourselves that, again, just everything is temporary, just radical acceptance of the moment. And yeah, just diving deeper into yourself, and then as a result, I guess, having just more love towards others. It all starts with us. um, and yeah, I don't think I had a milestone where I thought, okay, I figured it out, I think I should be happy now.
Oh, it's more from the perspective of, because I fully agree. We are all work in progress. There's no end to it.
Mm-hmm.
There is a beginning in terms of we are born,
Mm-hmm.
but what you've mentioned about realizing it's about feeling inside, uh, I was more referring to this, like how, um, when did you realize what authenticity is for you? Like how,
Mm-hmm.
um, when, because I believe that there's this moment when we realize that we are perfect the way we are, and we no longer want to change, and no longer we want to be someone that we believe we want to be.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
I feel like what you've accomplished over the last couple of years is like a perfect description of it. Like you found yourself, and you're just glowing from inside out because you
Thank you.
found yourself.
Well, I don't know. I think it's, again, it's a constant journey. But to be honest, I think anything that I try, even right now with vipassana, and I feel like next year, in 2 years, there's, again, it's going to be some breakthrough, something that I learned about myself. Um, for me, being authentic is just keeping shedding the layers and layers and layers of what we thought we who we are, right? Or what somebody else told us we are. Um, but yeah, it's actually quite a bullshit. So it's for us to understand, um, to learn again through different tools, different techniques that are there accessible for free, really. Um, to learn more about ourselves, to face very uncomfortable situation within ourselves very much. Um, I know I talk about vipassana a lot because it just happened. But for example, I had no idea I had so much anger inside myself. I was just sitting, and I felt like I was just observing the kid inside me having a tantrum for like 15 minutes, and it was ugly. And I feel like each of us were carrying such kid, right? Like
Yeah,
we have so much shit deep inside, like at the root level, because I think it's two separate things to actually live something, experience something, and understand something intellectually. We can read a lot of books, watch YouTube videos, nice webinar like here. Um, But if we're actually scared to go deep inside, nothing will change. It's all about self knowledge, knowing yourself,
yeah,
and having enough compassion, patience, and bravery. I think it's very brave to actually sit with yourself and see, oh shit, like there's so much anger, there's so much, sometimes jealousy, ugly stuff, right?
yeah.
That we don't want to admit we have. We all do. And it's okay. Like, yeah, it's okay. And then everything eventually passes. We just observe it and it passes away.
Yeah. There's I like to feel that self-trust is this
Mm-hmm.
element. So it's like we need self-trust. So with self-trust, we can take a radical responsibility for ourselves.
Yes, there's
And
no one
then
to blame. That's a big one.
exactly, like, it's me, it's my own stuff. And
Yeah.
either I'm gonna take care of them and I'm gonna take full responsibility for how my life looks like in this very moment,
Mm-hmm.
or I'm gonna keep blaming it on others.
Yeah,
Which,
exactly. For me, the huge realization was like, there's no one to blame. Shit.
there's no one to blame, right? And there's this, so in Kundalini Yoga, there's this beautiful description of authenticity, which I just keep repeating, is that every single one of us have a devil and the angel inside of us. Every single one
Mm-hmm.
of us. And we have this tendency of like overlooking the devil part,
Mm-hmm.
making the angel whiter, and telling ourselves the story why this devil is actually not that bad. So I did it because
Mm.
something happened and I have a right to do it.
I have an
But
excuse. Yeah.
exactly, that's the word, exactly. There's an excuse. And
Mm.
based on this excuse, we are building the story which we keep telling ourselves, like, oh, he hurt me, or the men's are bad, or the
Mm.
females are
Yeah,
always
there's a
this.
story. Mm.
Exactly. And the solution is very simple. Just accept that the worst thought that comes to your mind whenever either you want to drove over someone or
Mm.
you just want to kill someone, and like,
Yeah.
this thought came from you. It doesn't mean that you are a bad and horrible person,
Mm.
but it's also inside of you. And what you mentioned about anger, it resonates so deeply with me. In December, due to multiple unexpected events, I just, it was a dramatic last 3 months of last year. But at some point, mid-December, I just realized that I've got so much anger inside of me.
Mm.
And I was actually never allowing this anger to express it.
Yeah, we're never taught also, especially as a woman, that's another whole topic, right? Like we were never sort of allowed or taught to express anger, right? Because like usually our caretakers, our parents, they would be scared of their own anger. So if they saw you angry, it was like, oh, I cannot handle it.
Yeah,
So we like 2 years old, all of us, with handling our anger, I feel like,
yeah,
in a body of adults. So it's been incredible experience for me to sit with that, actually sit with that. And it's different to, for example, with discussing things with a therapist, because you sort of talk about it, you understand it on intellectual level, but if you go deeper, like in your body, you feel it, and it's like, you make the weirdest face, and like you sort of don't want to watch it because it's so freaking ugly, but like you hold on, and
yeah. And just
it's
goes, right?
yeah, wow.
Magic. And it's so beautiful. You mentioned that we tend to over intellectualize what's happening with us. And this is something, the entire narrative behind TrueMe. Like, we've been using technology for so long to make us more productive, to increase our cognitive capacities.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, we forgot what does it mean to be human.
Yeah.
Like, by being more productive and achieving more, we're not gonna feel more whole. We're not gonna feel safer. If anything, we're gonna spin more like a little hamster in a wheel, powered by the stress and the anxiety and anger. And there is this beautiful comparison that nervous systems of all of us are connected. And when someone's nervous system is completely, stressed, and the person is entering a room or house, like, this stress of a nervous system is gonna spread. And we live
Yeah.
in a society, and that's why most people who, when they're gonna go to the forest or for a walk, they leave and like, oh my god, I feel so light, so much lighter. I feel so
Mm-hmm.
good. And
Mm-hmm.
because we're like all little hamsters just running on a treadmill. And I fully agree with you. It would be vipassana. It feels like that's
Oh, you have to.
That's
From what I know, we know each other, I think, pretty well. You would love that. You would love that. I mean, not just Ola. Honestly, I feel like everyone in their life, at least
yeah,
once, they should do it. They
do
should
it.
give it a try.
Yeah,
And especially the most agitated and like, no, 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 no type of
yeah.
people should do that. There's incredible benefit to it only if you trust, only if you do the work, because it's actually very intense mental work to meditate
Mm,
for so many hours every day. I think on a day ninth, I had almost a mental breakdown. I was like, I think I'm overdosing meditation. I can't do it. But it's a process, right?
yeah,
You will have weak moments, and that's okay.
beautiful.
Um, and I think it's 10 days for a reason, for you to really feel the benefits and to fully embrace it. And it's an experience that I cannot really put in words. I think it should be experienced. So again, I just can't recommend enough.
Wow.
And I just want to also like put on top of what you said, about spreading the energy. If
Yeah.
somebody walks in the room and they're very negative or very, anxious or aggressive, luckily it works both ways. So if
Mm,
we produce better, clear, loving minds, in their presence, people also tend to um, tend to just chill the fuck
yeah.
down. So I think it's important to
Yes.
note,
Yes.
that energy is an exchange, whether it's very positive, loving, um, or negative, and it's only our responsibility to fix our own energy.
Mm,
Um, and then we as a society, we can benefit from it as a whole, not just you, because when you're okay, when you're loving, when you're good with yourself, it makes just a better world, and everyone around you just better. So let's be nice to each other, people.
right. And it's the depth of the relationship that you've got with yourself is going to be displayed by the depth of the relationship you've got with others. And if you're kind to yourself, there's no other way you're going to be kind to others.
Yeah,
It's
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 our
just
mirror. Yes, yeah, how you
it,
treat others is how you treat about yourself, right?
exactly. And very often, you know, I think it's some people call it the spiritual bypassing, but I do believe there's a lot of truth in it. That when at some point you see people who are angry or shouting or mistreating others, I always like to just send lots of, not love because I don't want to heal them, but a lot of compassion, because I
Yeah,
can also only imagine how they're treating themselves and
yeah,
what's the narrative that they are holding inside of them.
yeah. They're in pain, so
Yeah,
there's nothing to be taken personally.
yeah.
If one of my biggest lessons, I could share in life, is that don't take anything personally. Truly, truly, because yeah, a lot of people, they just avoid stuff, right? And therefore, there's a lot of projection out there, and just not good situations altogether.
That was actually about to be a question which I wanted to ask you. Like, if what would you say to your younger self? But I think you just answered it.
Yes, that. And I think what I would also say, um, just not to be worried about what's going to happen, not trying to control what's going to happen. Um, I do believe that we are guided, protected by something bigger than us. There's a scenario in the stars for each of us. It's really written. Whatever you want, you will achieve it, and it's even better than you can imagine. Just keep holding your vision, keep working on that, and like, don't worry, because if I would see my life right now as a 20-year-old, I would never believe it. It's over what you can comprehend in a moment, what's going to happen for you, if only you hold good intentions and you trust.
Yeah, trust is the key.
Yeah.
It's trust and certainty. It's. I was so beautiful what you're saying. It resonates so deeply with. Over weekend, I was going through a Kabbalah program, just educating myself how to use this technology.
Mhm.
And trust and certainty are the keys, because what Kabbalah is teaching is exactly what you've just mentioned. That if you've got the vision and something comes to you, it means that it is yours,
Yeah.
because otherwise you wouldn't envision it for yourself. So
Yeah.
it's already yours. But now it's a matter of how deep do you trust that it's gonna come to you. Not that you're gonna bring it to yourself, because that's the mind who's trying to, oh, I'm gonna do this, and
Yeah.
but
You don't want to sit with your mind for too long.
exactly. But it's this deep trust. It's so beautiful,
Yeah.
so beautiful.
Yeah. And of course, sometimes we lose it in the moments of doubt, but as long as you plug yourself to a frequency, it's going to work out. It's all good. It's all good. It really is. It's really going to be okay. Like, usually our brains are dramatizing times 10,000 was actually the reality. So we have to remember about that and not entertain that for too long.
So beautiful. So beautiful. I'm so beyond grateful that you found the time to meet with me after your vipassana. Like, oh my God, it's like
Yay! The
the
afterglow. My pleasure.
that's
Thank you.
the most beautiful gift I could ever ask for. Like, you just
Please apply.
radiating
You have to. Oh
peace.
my god. I cannot wait for your review afterwards. Yeah.
Beautiful, beautiful. And I'm it's been on my list and I'm gonna do it. I'm definitely gonna do it. I'm definitely gonna do it. And I definitely gonna do it. I know how scared I was of the fasting thing, for some reason. I mean, I know why, but it was it was terrifying. But then the process itself was just so beautiful, and it gives
How you
you,
felt during that time.
yes, but also afterwards you feel so proud of yourself.
But
Like,
you
you've
only drank
accomplished it.
water, or what did
Yeah,
you?
just water and tea.
Only water and tea. Okay, okay. Wow.
I
And
mean,
before your period, no chocolate. And what
it
about sport?
proves.
Because if you do run long distances, right? I guess during that time you sort of make it very basic, right? How you move.
I On this third day in the, so it's actually interesting. It's actually really interesting, because the second day, after like 36 hours, I was like half conscious in terms of I didn't have the energy. I was like, what on earth is going on? And then I woke up on the last day and I was full of energy. But
Interesting.
it's not like I would go running. I was able to do yoga, but it was really interesting. It's almost like I have this deep trust in my own body, that my body knows what's going on and what's
Yeah.
best to my body.
Yeah.
At the same time, I knew I have to push it a little bit, because otherwise like, I I made a promise to myself. And now, out of honor to myself, I'm keeping this period, because this is what I honored, like, to honor myself. This is what I promised myself to do, so I'm gonna do it to honor my own promise, which is this element, I also believe, of building self-trust.
Yeah, definitely.
Beautiful.
And nothing beautiful comes from zero effort, right? So you have to suffer a little bit to feel something incredible. There has to be an effort, and that's how, again, you build trust towards yourself that you can handle everything. So when any difficult situation in life arises, you have this trust in yourself. You have this peace, like, it's okay, I can handle it. It's fine.
Yeah, exactly. And then you're not looking for it outside.
Exactly.
Beautiful. Ada, thank you so much. It was
Thank
so
you.
lovely to see you.
Thank
And
you so much.
enjoy your next travels, whatever it's gonna be.
Thank you very much. I'm actually going to India in September again. So yeah, we'll be in touch.
Beautiful. Thank you again, and have a lovely one.
Thank you.